1983. Every kid in America owns plastic ninja stars, dresses in black pajamas for Halloween, and practices throwing techniques in their backyard, all because of one man, Sho Kosugi, the Japanese martial artist who made ninjas cool, dangerous, and absolutely everywhere. Then, overnight, he vanishes. No farewell, no explanation, just gone. What Hollywood did to him is darker than any Shadow Warrior movie he ever made. Chapter 1. The Myth Hollywood Sold. Walk into any video store between 1983 and 1986, and the action section looks like Sho Kosugi's personal shrine. Revenge of the Ninja. Ninja 3, The Domination. 9 Deaths of the Ninja. Pray for Death. Rage of Honor. His face, stern and mysterious behind a black mask, stares from dozens of VHS covers. Kids rent these movies by the millions. Parents buy ninja toys without realizing they're buying merch based on R-rated violence. The craze is so massive that schools start banning ninja stars and nunchucks because children keep bringing them to class. Sho Kosugi is the face of this phenomenon. Not Chuck Norris, not Jean-Claude Van Damme, not even Bruce Lee, who's been dead for a decade. Sho owns the ninja genre completely. Time magazine calls him the king of ninja movies. Variety labels him the biggest martial arts draw since Bruce Lee himself. For a brief shining moment, Hollywood has an Asian action star who can actually open movies, who can headline, who audiences worldwide recognize instantly. Then the 90s arrive, and Sho Kosugi disappears like smoke. No major roles, no franchise resurrections, no cameos in the next generation of action films. While lesser talents ride the direct-to-video wave all the way through the decade, Sho simply evaporates. The man who built an entire genre gets erased from the story Hollywood tells about itself. For years, nobody asks why. The assumption is simple. The ninja fad died, so the ninja star died with it. But that explanation is too convenient, too clean, because ninja didn't die. They evolved into video games, comic books, anime, and eventually back into Hollywood, with films like Kill Bill and Ninja Assassin. The genre survived. Sho Kosugi didn't. What really happened? Why did the industry that made millions off his face decide he was disposable? And why, even now, does his name barely register when people discuss action movie legends? The answer reveals everything ugly about how Hollywood treats Asian actors, even the ones who prove they can be stars. Chapter 2. From Tokyo to Hollywood's Doorstep. June 19th, 1948. Tokyo is still rebuilding from the war, and into this recovering city, Sho Kosugi is born. His father runs a seafood business. His mother keeps the family together through Japan's economic struggles. At age 5, something inside young Sho awakens. He begins training in Shindojinnan Ryu Karate, an ancient style emphasizing natural movement and devastating efficiency. The training is brutal. Japanese martial arts in the 50s and 60s don't coddle students. Sho's knuckles bleed from striking hard surfaces. His shins bruise from blocking kicks. His body becomes a weapon through thousands of repetitive movements that most kids would quit after a week. But Sho doesn't quit. By his teenage years, he's training in multiple disciplines: karate, judo, kendo, aikido. He earns black belts in each. His instructors recognize something rare: a student with both natural talent and inhuman work ethic. At 18, Sho makes a decision that changes his trajectory forever. He moves to America to attend college, studying business at California State University. The transition is jarring. He speaks minimal English. American culture feels alien and chaotic compared to Japan's strict social order. To survive, he does what he knows: teaching martial arts. He opens a small dojo, charging whatever students can afford, building a reputation in Los Angeles' martial arts community as a technician who makes complex techniques look effortless. Throughout the 70s, Sho grinds in obscurity. He competes in tournaments, winning championships nobody outside the martial arts world notices. He teaches celebrities and stuntmen, slowly building connections. He appears in tiny roles in films, usually as background thug number 3 or ninja who gets killed immediately. In 1975, he has a bit part in The Bad News Bears, playing a Little League dad. 4 seconds of screen time, no lines. This is Hollywood's message to Asian actors. You can be scenery, but never the scene. Sho watches lesser fighters get roles because they're white, because they're tall, because they fit the image casting directors have locked in their minds. He's too short, they say, too Japanese, too foreign. American audiences won't accept an Asian lead in an action film. He hears this so many times it becomes background noise, just another obstacle to navigate around. But Sho keeps training, keeps teaching, keeps showing up to auditions where he knows he won't get the part, because he's seen Bruce Lee break through, even if only briefly before his death. If Bruce could do it, maybe someone else could too. Maybe lightning could strike twice. Then, in 1980, the phone rings. Chapter 3. Enter the Ninja and the Birth of a Phenomenon. Cannon Films is a low-budget studio run by two Israeli cousins, Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus, who have a talent for spotting trends and exploiting them faster than major studios can react. They've noticed something. Ninja movies are exploding in Asia. Japanese films about shadow warriors are making serious money. American audiences are fascinated by the mystery, the weapons, the mythology. Cannon decides to make the first major American ninja film. They hire Menahem Golan to direct. They cast Franco Nero, the Italian actor known for Django, as the lead. And here's where it gets absurd. They cast a white man as a ninja master. Not just any ninja, but the hero. Because even in 1981, Hollywood can't imagine audiences accepting an Asian protagonist. They need someone to play the villain, though. Someone who can actually move, who knows real martial arts, who can make the fight scenes look legitimate. Word spreads through Al-A's martial arts community. Sho auditions. He walks into that room with decades of training in his bones, and when he demonstrates his skills, the decision is instant. He gets the role of Hasegawa, the evil ninja trying to steal a fortune. Enter the Ninja hits theaters in 1981. The film is ridiculous. Franco Nero, in full ninja regalia, looks like a Halloween costume bought at a discount store. The plot makes no sense. The acting is wooden. But the action scenes, the sequences where Sho Kosugi fights, those are electric. When he moves, audiences sit up. When he throws weapons, the camera captures real technique, and not the clumsy fakery most martial arts films rely on. Critics destroy the movie. Roger Ebert calls it idiotic. Variety labels it preposterous exploitation. But none of that matters because the film makes money. $17 million worldwide on a tiny budget. More importantly, audience exit surveys reveal something Cannon's executives can't ignore. People loved the villain. They thought Sho Kosugi was the best part of the film. Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus aren't stupid. They recognize gold when it's sitting in their hands. They call Sho back into the office and make him an offer, not just another villain role. This time, he'll be the hero. They're making a sequel, and he's the star. Chapter 4. Revenge of the Ninja, When the World Went Ninja Mad. 1983. Revenge of the Ninja drops into theaters and detonates. Sho plays Cho Osaki, a ninja master who moves to America after his family is slaughtered in Japan, trying to leave the violent life behind. Of course, violence follows him. The film delivers exactly what audiences crave: throwing stars, sword fights, black-clad warriors flipping through the air, and Sho Kosugi at the center of it all, radiating authentic menace. The budget is still tiny, maybe $2 million. The script is serviceable at best, but none of that matters because Sho is finally unleashed. Every fight scene showcases his real skills. The final confrontation on a rooftop, where Sho battles another ninja in broad daylight, becomes iconic. Kids recreate it in playgrounds across America. The scene where he throws a crescent-shaped blade that curves through the air gets replayed in slow motion on home video thousands of times. Revenge of the Ninja earns over $30 million worldwide. In some international markets, it outgrosses Rocky III and First Blood. Sho Kosugi becomes a household name in Japan, across Asia, and Europe. American kids might not pronounce his name correctly, but they know his face. He's on magazine covers. He's doing talk shows. Toy companies start producing Sho Kosugi action figures. The merchandising becomes a flood. Ninja stars, swords, masks, costumes, all trading on the image Sho created. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Sho didn't just star in these movies. He choreographed the fights, trained the other actors, designed the weapons, and brought authenticity Hollywood had never bothered with before. The ninja skills he demonstrates aren't stage combat learned in a month. They're techniques refined over 30 years. When he throws a shuriken, it actually sticks into the target. When he wields a katana, the form is perfect. He's the real thing, and audiences can feel the difference. The ninja craze he sparked spreads like a virus. Suddenly, every action film needs a ninja. American Ninja, Ninja 3, 9 Deaths of the Ninja, Ninja Terminator, hundreds of cheap knockoffs flood the market. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, originally a small independent comic, explodes because ninja are the hottest thing in pop culture. Mortal Kombat's creators cite Sho's films as primary inspiration for their game's aesthetic. Sho is directly responsible for embedding ninjas into American consciousness. Before him, ninjas were obscure Japanese folklore. After him, they're as American as cowboys. He did for ninjas what Bruce Lee did for Kung Fu. Made it cool, made it mainstream, made it profitable. Canon Films knows they've struck gold. They immediately greenlight another sequel. Sho is riding higher than any Asian action star since Bruce Lee's death. He's proven he can open movies, that audiences worldwide will pay to see him. Major studios should be calling with offers, with franchises, with the Chuck Norris treatment. That's not what happens. Chapter 5, Ninja 3 and the Warning Signs. 1984. Canon Films decides to get weird. Ninja 3. The Domination isn't just a ninja movie. It's a ninja movie mixed with an aerobics movie, mixed with a possession horror film, mixed with a romance, all blended into one incomprehensible mess. The plot involves an evil ninja spirit possessing a telephone repair woman who teaches aerobics on the side. Yes, really. Sho plays the good ninja sent to stop the possessed woman. He's barely in the film for the first hour. Instead, audiences watch extended aerobic sequences, bizarre supernatural possession scenes, and a romantic subplot nobody asked for. When Sho finally appears for the climactic battle, he does his best to salvage the insanity. The film becomes a cult classic for all the wrong reasons. People watch it ironically, laughing at the absurdity. But for Sho, it's a warning sign that Canon Films doesn't actually understand what they have. They see him as a gimmick, not a star. They're willing to bury his talent under layers of exploitation nonsense rather than build a legitimate franchise around him. Behind the scenes, creative control battles erupt. Sho wants to make serious martial arts films that showcase ninjutsu's philosophy and discipline. Canon wants cheap thrills and bizarre concepts that grab attention. Sho suggests storylines, character development, cultural authenticity. The producers pat him on the head and tell him to just do the fights. This is where the fundamental problem reveals itself. Canon Films is making money off Sho Kosugi, but they're not investing in Sho Kosugi. They're churning out products, not building a brand. Chuck Norris at this time has full creative control over his films. Sylvester Stallone is writing, directing, and starring in his own franchises. Jean-Claude Van Damme, who hasn't even broken through yet, will soon get deals that give him final cut approval. Sho gets told to show up, fight, and cash the check. The message is clear: you're useful, but you're not actually valued. You're the talent, not the brand. Ninja 3 still makes money, but less than Revenge. The reviews are worse. The momentum is stalling. Canon Films doesn't care. They have Sho locked into a contract. They'll keep pumping out ninja movies as long as the market exists. Quality doesn't matter. Sho's career trajectory doesn't matter. Only the next quick dollar matters. Chapter 6. The system that never wanted him to win. Here's the question nobody in Hollywood wants to answer. Why didn't Sho Kosugi become what Chuck Norris became? Or what Steven Seagal would become just a few years later? Why didn't he get a proper franchise with studio backing, actual budgets, and competent directors? The numbers justified it. Revenge of the Ninja earned more per screen than most major action releases in 1983. Sho had name recognition across multiple continents. He possessed legitimate skills that made fight scenes credible. He had screen presence, charisma, in that strong, silent type way American action films loved. On paper, he checked every box, except one. He was Japanese. Let's be brutally honest about what Hollywood thought in the 80s. Asian men were acceptable as villains, sidekicks, or martial arts masters who trained the white hero. They were not acceptable as romantic leads, as American heroes, as the guy who gets the girl and saves the day. The industry had rules, unspoken but absolute, about who could be what on screen. Sho's accent didn't help. He spoke English well, but with a Japanese accent that casting directors claimed American audiences wouldn't understand or accept. Never mind that Arnold Schwarzenegger's accent was so thick you needed subtitles. Never mind that Jean-Claude Van Damme's English was broken and heavily accented. Those guys were white, and white foreign accents were exotic and charming. Asian accents were disqualifying. The roles Sho got offered outside canon films were humiliating. Background martial arts instructor, unnamed henchman, restaurant owner, the wise old teacher who dies to motivate the white protagonist. Hollywood looked at his resume, saw Asian martial artist, and filed him under stereotype only. Compare this to how the industry treated Chuck Norris. Norris had real martial arts credentials, just like Sho. He competed in tournaments, won championships, taught celebrities, but Norris was white, had blue eyes, and fit the American cowboy archetype. Studios built entire franchises around him. Missing in Action, Delta Force, Walker Texas Ranger. They gave him budgets, creative control, and opportunities to become a genuine star. Or look at Steven Seagal, who broke through in 1988 with Above the Law. Seagal had a fraction of Sho's credentials. His martial arts background was Aikido, which looks impressive, but lacks the dynamic striking and acrobatics of ninjutsu. Yet Seagal got Warner Brothers backing, major theatrical releases, and a decade-long run as an A-list action star, because he was white, tall, and had the right look. Canon Films deserves blame too, but for different reasons. Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus operated on a factory model. They made 30 to 40 films a year, spending tiny amounts on each, hoping a few would break even and one might become a hit. They weren't in the business of building stars. They were in the business of exploiting trends. When Sho asked for better scripts, they said ninja movies don't need good scripts. When he suggested shooting in better locations with proper crews, they said the budget doesn't allow it. When he wanted to break out of the ninja typecast and do different kinds of action films, they reminded him his contract required ninja movies. The cruelest part? Sho knew exactly what was happening. In interviews from the mid-80s, he's diplomatic but clear. "I hope to play different kinds of roles someday," he told Black Belt magazine in 1985. Not just ninja, but a policeman, a detective, an ordinary man. The interviewer asked if Hollywood was offering those roles. Sho just smiled and changed the subject. He understood the game. He'd broken through further than almost any Asian actor since Bruce Lee. But there was a ceiling, invisible but unbreakable, and he'd already hit it. Everything from this point would be lateral moves or decline. Chapter 7, The Fall. When ninja went from gold to garbage by 1985, the ninja market is oversaturated. Every exploitation studio has ninja films in production. The quality drops off a cliff. American Ninja, starring Michael Dudikoff, becomes IMP's biggest hit, stealing market share from Canon. Ninja Terminator, Enter the Ninja Master, Ninja Phantom Heroes, dozens of cheap knockoffs with identical plots flood video stores. Sho keeps working, but the projects get progressively worse. 9 Deaths of the Ninja in 1985 is barely coherent. Pray for Death in 1985 has Sho playing a Japanese businessman in America whose family gets attacked, forcing him back into ninja life. The film has moments of genuine intensity, but the production values are TV movie quality. Rage of Honor in 1987 is slightly better, with Sho playing a cop in Amsterdam, but it's too little too late. The problem is simple. Audiences are tired of ninja. The Craze Sho built has been strip-mined by opportunists making garbage cash grabs. Parents have turned against ninja merchandise after news reports about kids hurting themselves with throwing stars. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are sanitizing and commercializing the image into something cute and cartoonish. The dangerous, mysterious ninja Sho embodied is being replaced by pizza-eating turtles who say "Cowabunga." Canon Films itself is collapsing. Golan and Globus's factory model finally catches up to them. They overextend, make terrible investments, and by the late 80s, the company is drowning in debt. Their distribution deals fall apart. Their films go straight to video without theatrical releases. And Sho, locked into contracts with a dying company, sinks with the ship. His last theatrical releases barely make a ripple. Black Eagle in 1988 pairs him with Jean-Claude Van Damme, who's about to become a massive star with Bloodsport. The film is supposed to revitalize Sho's career by pairing him with fresh talent. Instead, It highlights the shift happening in action cinema. Van Damme is younger, more marketable, white, and speaks English with an accent Hollywood finds charming rather than disqualifying. When the film gets released, Van Damme's face is bigger on the poster, despite having a smaller role. The writing is on the wall. By 1990, Sho Kosugi has no theatrical prospects. The roles dry up completely. The phone stops ringing. The industry that made tens of millions off his face has moved on to the next trend, the next star, the next way to make a quick dollar. Chapter 8, Erased from History, is an AI. The 90s are cruel to Sho. He takes whatever work appears. Guest spots on TV shows, tiny roles in B-movies, direct-to-video productions that barely get released. He appears in episodes of Wise Guy, Jag, and other procedurals as generic Asian criminal or martial arts master who trains the hero. Each role is a reminder of how far he's fallen. A decade earlier, he was the king of ninja movies, headlining films that made millions. Now he's lucky to get fourth billing in projects nobody will watch. The industry has no interest in rebuilding his career or acknowledging what he accomplished. He's been filed under 80s relic, and nobody's opening that drawer. Sho focuses on family. His sons, Shane and Kane, are growing up. He trains them in martial arts, passing down the traditions he learned in Japan. He teaches seminars and runs martial arts schools. The work is honest and fulfilling, in ways Hollywood never was. But there's a sadness to it, an acknowledgement that the dream is over. Occasionally, at tournaments or martial arts conventions, people recognize him. They tell him how much his movies meant to them as kids, how they got into martial arts because of Revenge of the Ninja, how he was their hero. Sho smiles and thanks them, gracious and humble. But inside, there's a question he never voices. If I meant that much to so many people, why did Hollywood throw me away? The answer is obvious but unspoken. Hollywood didn't throw him away because he failed. They threw him away because they extracted all the value they could from a Japanese action star before American audiences got uncomfortable with an Asian man being too successful. Chapter 9, The Legacy They Buried. Here's what Hollywood won't admit. Modern ninja culture in America is Sho Kosugi's creation. Before him, ninjas were minor footnotes in martial arts discussions. After him, they're embedded in every corner of pop culture. Mortal Kombat's Scorpion and Sub-Zero, directly inspired by Sho's films. Ninja Gaiden, the video game series. The developers cited Revenge of the Ninja as primary reference. Every black-clad assassin in every action film since the 80s is trading on the image Sho popularized. The choreography, the weapons, the aesthetic, all of it traces back to those Canon Films productions. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles owe him everything. The original comic creators have admitted their ninja elements came from watching Sho's movies on VHS. The Turtles' sensei, Splinter, is a parody of ninja masters from films like Revenge of the Ninja. The entire TMNT empire, worth billions, exists because Sho made ninjas cool to American kids. Yet when Hollywood makes documentaries about action cinema or martial arts films, Sho gets a footnote if he's mentioned at all. The narrative focuses on Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li. Sho, who bridged the gap between Bruce's death and Jackie's American breakthrough, who kept Asian martial artists in American consciousness, gets erased. Film festivals have started rediscovering his work. Alamo Drafthouse runs Revenge of the Ninja screenings that sell out. Criterion-style boutique labels release restored versions of his films. A new generation discovers what their parents watched on VHS and realizes these movies still hit hard. Sho's sons, Shane and Kane, became actors and martial artists themselves. They've kept the family legacy alive, though neither achieved their father's level of success. The industry that rejected Sho had even less interest in his children. Chapter 10, The Robbery. Nobody talks about. Imagine an alternate timeline. Imagine if in 1983, after Revenge of the Ninja's success, Warner Brothers or Paramount signed Sho to a multi-picture deal. Imagine if they gave him real budgets, competent directors, and scripts that didn't insult the audience's intelligence. He could have been Liam Neeson before Liam Neeson. The quiet, deadly professional who handles business with minimal fuss. He could have been Jason Statham before Jason Statham. The skilled specialist called in when situations require precision. Look at the roles that went to white actors in the 80s and 90s that Sho could have played better. The assassin in La Femme Nikita, the mentor in Kickboxer, the detective in Black Ring, which ironically was set in Japan but starred Michael Douglas. Hollywood created roles that practically demanded Asian actors, then cast white men anyway. Sho had something most action stars lack: authenticity. He didn't need a stunt double for fight scenes. He didn't need months of training to look competent. He showed up ready, with decades of skill already in his bones. Directors could point a camera at him and capture real martial arts excellence without fakery or wire work. What Hollywood lost by sidelining him is incalculable. They could have built a franchise that bridged Eastern and Western action cinema. They could have proven Asian men could be romantic leads and action heroes American audiences embraced. They could have been progressive while making money. Instead, they chose the path of least resistance. Keep Sho in the exploitation ghetto, where his ethnicity was a gimmick rather than an asset. Use him until the trend dies, then discard him. Never invest, never build, never risk treating an Asian actor like he's worth the same effort given to white stars. The tragedy isn't that Sho Kosugi failed. The tragedy is that he succeeded despite every obstacle, proved he could be a star, and Hollywood still refused to give him a real chance. Sho Kosugi didn't just star in ninja movies. He created the American ninja. Before him, the concept was foreign and mysterious. After him, ninjas became as American as apple pie, as recognizable to kids in Kansas as samurai were to Japanese children. He did everything right. He trained for decades. He brought authenticity to a genre drowning in fakery. He proved he could open movies internationally. He became a cultural phenomenon, and Hollywood still treated him as disposable because his success challenged assumptions about who could be a star. Today, at 76 years old, Sho teaches martial arts and occasionally appears at conventions where fans line up for autographs. He's gracious about his career, rarely bitter in interviews, but the question hangs in the air, unspoken but obvious. What could have been? The ninja craze Sho built didn't die. It evolved, mutated, and became a permanent part of global pop culture. Ninjas are more popular now than in the 80s, but Sho, the man who made it possible, remains a footnote. That's not an accident. That's a choice Hollywood made.